Do you want to know the easiest way to build a real estate portfolio? I mean, the easiest way to build a real estate portfolio. To have this conversation, we're going to bring on Kelly to talk about this. How you doing, Kelly?
I'm well, thank you.
So, Kelly, this is your topic. I
This
will
is
let
it.
you lead. Yeah, this is it. So, tell us the easiest way to build a real estate portfolio.
The easiest way is to purchase the home as a primary residence, live in it for at minimum 12 months. Could take a couple years for you to get ready to buy that next primary residence, but then rent out. Don't sell the house. That's the easiest way. So this way you're able to do lower down payment type of financing because you're going to live in it, because primary residences have as low as 3% down on a conventional loan. That's a conforming conventional loan. The interest rates are lower than when compared to an investment property. So it allows you to kind of get in, start to build equity, and do that for less out of pocket. We have so many people right now, Michael, that are sitting at 3.5%, 4% interest rates, and they want to buy that next house, but they're kind of stuck mentally with like, I can't go pay a 7% interest rate. So one of the best strategies is to really start to look at your house. If you were going to rent that out, does it cash flow at a 3 or a 3.5% interest rate? Chances are it does. And if it cash flows in the positive, you have that extra money to be able to go and buy that next house at a 7% interest rate, assuming it's a primary residence, that allows you to, again, kind of offset that higher payment until you can refinance it. So the strategy is purchasing a home as a primary residence and living in it. You have to live in it at minimum 12 months according to the deed of trust. But after that, if you decide that you want to rent it out, it's a perfect vehicle to do that.
Yeah, I think this is such a underappreciated strategy.
Yeah.
It can be a plan, right? There's this notion of accidental landlords where,
Mhm.
like, I bought a home, I lived in a couple of years, my job transferred, but I decided to rent. Folks, have this be the plan, right? Go in, live in it for 18 or 24 months or whatever it is, and you know, move around. It's okay. It can work for you. Lowest down, lowest rates, 30-year fixed rate debt, cash flows. Let inflation be your friend. Hello. I
Yeah.
mean, it's so powerful. You don't have to do syndications and all these other things. Just talk to your significant other, talk to the family, and make it a plan. You move every 2 years. At the end of a decade, you have a home and four rentals. You've got it.
Exactly. I mean, your plan is a 10-year plan. This is one way you can execute a 10-year plan without having to do 20, 25, 30% down to buy investment properties. So it's a great
Yeah.
strategy, especially if you currently own real estate that has that 3 to 4% interest rate.
Yeah. And if you want to, you want to turbocharge this, you could always do all of that with a fourplex or a
Yeah,
triplex or a duplex.
absolutely. Yeah.
Again, your home doesn't have to be your forever home day one.
Right.
You can spend a decade building this fortress around your future, right? A couple of a fourplex, a duplex in the home, 10 units over a decade. I mean, you're going to be alive in 10 years one way or the other. Why not, sacrifice a little bit for 10 years? What do you think?
And I think people just don't know that this option exists. And so this is why I love the group that you have here. It's bringing forth ideas like, okay, well, what would my house that has a 3% interest rate on it, what would it rent at today? And does it make sense? Can it cash flow? I mean, that's what it's all about, is the cash flow,
Oh,
So
yeah, absolutely.
I often, and I have these conversations quite often with our clients, and, the pushback is, well, I need the down payment to go buy the next house. So put a home equity line of credit on your current house before you decide to do this. I think it's great just to have it there, whether you ever use it or not. You can keep it at a zero balance. It'll cost you a couple $100 a year to have access to it. But if you decide to employ this strategy, then you can draw on the equity line of credit to make your down payment on the new house. Again, you can do a low down payment on the new house because you're purchasing
Yeah.
it as a primary residence. So let's call it 5% down. And then once this cash flow is coming in, I would use the money to pay down the equity line because that's going to be at a higher interest rate, and just now position yourself to be ready to go do that again.
Yeah. And this is the game of Monopoly,
Yeah.
right? The greenhouse is where you live for a year. and then you buy another one and another one, and pretty soon you got a red hotel. I mean, it is the game of Monopoly, just played out in real life, and it's such an underappreciated strategy. I would challenge more people just to, I think a lot of people look at the home like it's going to be my forever home, or I'm going to live here a decade
Yes.
or whatever. I get it. But
Yeah.
what if it was part of the fortress you were building? So in a decade, you've got four. It's just so powerful.
It's just a different way to think about it. That's what it is. And I think the other thing to know is that depending on the loan program that you're going to use to purchase the next house, there's a good chance that that loan program will allow you to use a lease agreement to offset the payment on the house that's going to become the rental. So there's
Absolutely.
a lot that goes on in the lending guidelines that can really help, because again, the barriers are, oh, I can't afford two houses. Well, maybe
Right.
you can, maybe you can't. It's worth a conversation.
It's definitely worth a conversation. And if we're staying on this front, there's another thing you could do, meet Kevin, huge YouTube star. He started his real estate journey with a 203K loan.
Yeah.
Right. He did a 203K loan for his owner occupied house, which meant, why don't you tell people what a 203K loan is and why that might be a great place to start as well?
Yeah, they're just rehabilitation loans. So a lot of times the ugly houses out there are the ones that sit. They're the ones that you can get at a killer price. They're the ones you can get seller concessions on. I mean, it's just, they don't have any lipstick yet. So in addition to the FHA 203K, there are conventional rehab programs that exist today too. Homestyle is another version of that, but on the conventional front. And nevertheless, I mean, these are programs that allow you to finance the cost of the rehabilitation to the house. So they work really, really well for the ugly properties or the properties that just need a little bit of love.
Yeah. No, it's just, there's so much opportunity out there. And in episode number 3, we'll get into mindset, because I think a lot of people just tell it's not possible. There is a lot of focus on owner occupied loans today. I think more is coming. If somebody wanted to reach out to you and figure out, can you help them? What are the options? How do you want them to reach out?
Yeah, you can call or text 480-725-0150. We lend in about 43 states, so not all states, but we have good coverage and would be happy to have a conversation.
And you also have a YouTube channel that people should check out.
I do. It's Mortgage How Do I? And that's just a place to go if you're just trying to get your arms around this whole lending thing. Like, how do I get a home loan? How does it work? How does credit work? That's really the design behind that
Awesome.
channel.
Kelly, keep it up. Thank you for all you do.
You're welcome. Thank you.